Hey guys, how's it going this week? Ryan, how's your week going?
Except for this weekend.
That's fantastic. It depends on
Go
what day.
Braves.
It depends on what day you ask me about, huh? And Brandon, how are you? You just got back from vacation.
Doing good. Getting back in the swing of things. Yeah, went on vacation. Went to Disney World with the family.
Got to be immersed in some movies. That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, everybody voted for Ryan once again. And before we tell everybody what we're going to be watching, now some people already know because they voted last week. But Ryan, could you tell everybody where they can go and vote and where they can just comment and chat with us as well?
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, down in the comment section, you can let us know what you think of the reviews, whether you like the movies we're talking about, and also, like Al said, vote on what we're going to review next episode. Then you can do the same on Instagram, and that's at CiNEMACHiNE.
Awesome. Thanks. So if you're wanting to skip this review because you haven't seen the movie yet, you can go straight to our The Wrap-Up section where we talk about what we've been watching lately, and we also give you options of what you can vote on for our next episode. And then you can come back and watch this after you've watched Uncut Gems.
And Brandon's news segment.
And
so
and
good at
Brandon's
the
news.
news.
Yeah, we do the news as well. I forgot about that. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
You're really good at what you do, Brandon.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Keep it up.
Yeah,
Thanks.
he's batting about 250. So
That's good.
Look at his eyes light up.
So
Right, Dad? That's good.
So this week we are going to be reviewing Ryan's pick, Uncut Gems. Now, Uncut Gems was widely released December 25th, 2019. It was directed by the Safdie brothers, Benny and Josh. Had a budget of $19 million, and it had a box office of $50 million. Now, this movie, it's about a charismatic jeweler makes a high-stakes bet that could lead to the windfall of a lifetime. In a precarious high-wire act, he must balance business, family, and adversaries on all sides in pursuit of the ultimate win. This has a pretty interesting cast. Adam Sandler being the star. Lakeith Stanfield, who we've reviewed Knives Out with. Julia Fox. Kevin Garnett. Idina Menzel, which... people can't say sometimes on the Oscars. We won't say who couldn't say that properly, but go check out those clips. It's pretty hilarious and creepy. John Travolta. Eric Bogosian. And Judd Hirsch. There's plenty of people
As
in this.
gooey.
As gooey. Yeah.
Gooey.
Yeah. Judd Hirsch, man. He's been around for a long time. He's a good actor. So the Safdie brothers directed this, and I would say this is their breakout movie, but let's talk about first impressions. Now, Brandon, did you see this in the theater, or how did you see this first, and what was your first impression?
Depends. Was it a home theater?
A lockdown theater. That's what I'm talking about, those things that aren't open anymore.
Right. I did not see it in a theater. I saw it at home.
In the theater.
I blind bought it on Blu-ray. I
Okay.
don't remember when. It could have been during quarantine. I don't even remember. Probably was. Such a blur. Yeah. I watched it at home with Melissa. And quick thoughts. I dug it. Super stressful. But it's pretty good. Good performances pretty much all around. Lots of F-bombs. A little too many, It gets a little gratuitous towards the end. It's like you couldn't think of another word to write. But, and I'm not offended by F-bombs, but it's just like, all right, could have just said something different.
Yeah, it was.
Felt like they were going for a record.
Yeah, Scarface 187 times, so I'm sure they beat that.
Yeah. But no, it's good. I mean, you and I watched Safdie Brothers' Good Time movie not too long before I watched this. I think I liked Good Time better than this.
Okay.
But I mean, we can get into details with this one later. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was good to see Sandler do something good. So,
yeah, there's more of that later. We'll definitely.
Okay. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, as much as you can enjoy this movie, it's one of those movies that I don't see. I mean, I returned to it for this review just to kind of refresh on it, but it's not something that I would kind of want to put myself through too many times.
Right.
But still really well made, and yeah, overall good.
Awesome. Ryan, how about yourself? Did you see it in theaters? What was your first impression?
No, I did not see it in theaters. Waited for Netflix, and this movie's awesome. It's very stressful.
It is very
like
stressful.
Brandon said, you're just like, no, don't do that. Don't do that the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about as tense as they come. Very refreshing to see Adam Sandler not do something that was complete garbage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. Doesn't, I don't know if it has as many F-bombs as a Hot Dog by Limp Bizkit, but it's close.
Oh.
Hot Dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Brandon, you're
it.
familiar. Yeah.
I remember it from the gym mix.
Yeah.
Never thought I would hear a Limp Bizkit conversation tonight, so.
You'll get plenty of those with me.
Oh, boy.
I did not remember that it came out on Christmas. This is not a movie that I would want to see on Christmas.
It was, yeah, right. It's not really a Christmas movie. But this
That's
movie
probably a limited release.
It had a limited release prior.
All I'm saying is, if I came out on December 25th and I went to the theaters to see this, it's not exactly what I would be wanting to watch.
This is exactly what Al would want to see on Christmas Day.
So. I
just need something to bring me down today.
I saw this during the limited release. So I saw this with a friend of mine, Paul. And
what up, Paul?
We walked out and had two totally different ideas of what this movie was. Paul was like, nope, never want to see that again. I was like, dude, that was great. Like I enjoyed it, but I was exhausted after the movie. So I felt like
Katie would never be able to watch this movie. She can't even handle the Meet the Parents type. Tense, so she would just be
this might give her a heart attack. Yeah, this movie it's like whenever you watch a horror movie or something around that genre where everybody makes dumb mistakes just to push the plot forward. This movie, everybody made dumb mistakes, but it was because that was the character. It wasn't just to push the plot forward. Sure. It wasn't just because, hey, we needed that to be in this place at the time. So it was a little more entertaining. However, when I tried to rewatch this movie for this show, man, it was a chore because I love the movie. I love the direction, all that. But man, it's just like you're just so mad at Adam Sandler's character the whole time. And the girlfriend, Julia, she was the breakout star of this movie. Not breakout star, but breakout performance of this movie, I should say. And she was a friend of the Safdie brothers for a very long time. And I thought, man, I'm interested in seeing her in other stuff. She was really good and convincing, and I thought I was gonna watch an interview with her, and she was gonna be like this meek, like girl that just acted like this or whatever. She is that character, not like trashy and everything, but she is like attitudinal and sassy and very much so that character to where like watching her in an interview is more aggravating than watching her in this movie. It's so annoying.
So won't be having her on the pod. It's another
don't want to watch her in other stuff.
I want to watch her in other stuff because I thought she was a good actress, but watching her in an interview is a chore. She's very, very cocky about her skills, and she knows that she is deserving of certain opportunities and things like that. So hey, hats off if you're that confident. It's not a problem being confident. Just not my jam watching people be that cocky. So, but anyway, let's talk about Adam Sandler, because the Safdie brothers wrote this script 10 years plus prior to making this movie with Adam Sandler in mind. And it's not something you look at and say, hey, this is an Adam Sandler type vehicle right here. But they saw him in Punch Drunk Love, which is a great movie. Have either of you seen Punch Drunk Love?
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah.
I have it on Criterion.
Yeah, you have my copy on Criterion. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just sitting there collecting dust. But no,
nope, it's not. There's a dust cover on it. Al keeps his movies in dust covers.
I do that.
I do.
I like that sensation of opening it for the first time again, so I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm weird. It's okay.
Check out Al on My Strange Addiction next episode.
Sniffing J cards. But I think that movie is great. I think it really showed a different side of Adam Sandler to everybody that was, Happy Madison Productions and things of that nature. So it really showed that. And what's the one, Rain on Me or Rain Over Me, the one about 9/11. I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't
movie.
see that one. I saw Spanglish is kind of in that vein, right? It's not necessarily a comedy.
It's a dry comedy. Yeah.
Saw that one.
I actually had a first date for the movie Spanglish, and the entire conversation afterward, like, we talked about how much we hated that movie. That was our bond. so that worked out. So anyway, I just unplugged my headphones.
Return them.
This is some podcast stuff right here.
Let's pretend like we're talking right now, so he thinks
Take
we're
two.
talking.
I just broke my headphones.
Great, Al.
We'll be right back.
All right.
All right, everybody, we're back. Had a little technical difficulty. Check out our social media for pictures of exactly what happened, and video for that matter, because it's quite hilarious.
There's a lot of it.
At my expense. It was on my side. So thanks everybody for hanging in there.
Hey Al, where'd you get those dope new AirPods?
From the jerk stores.
And they're running out of you.
Yeah, exactly. Seinfeld jokes. So anyway, we were talking about Adam Sandler in his more serious roles, and how Punch Drunk Love and other movies like Rain Over Me, with Don Cheadle and things of that nature. Spanglish.
You sure that's what it was called?
Yeah. Well, those movies really were the genesis for the Safdie brothers to find Adam Sandler as inspiration for Uncut Gems. So this movie, like we said, was written 10 years prior with him in mind, and they kept trying to get it, as they call it, the moat of celebrity. They couldn't get it to his proper channels, and they were politely told no quite a few times by Sandler's representatives, and then it finally got into their hands, and after they made Good Time, and Sandler really liked that movie and said, well, these guys really got their stuff together. Saw some of their independent shorts and things of that nature, and it really spearheaded everything. So just it's kind of fun to watch them talk about that. So if you get a chance, go check out the Safdie brothers chatting about that with Sandler. It's pretty fun to watch. But how did you guys think Sandler was in this movie, being that you guys haven't really seen all of Punch Drunk Love, seen parts of Spanglish, I think Brandon said. But did you see Rain Over Me?
Saw the trailer for it.
It was pretty good. It was. I mean, it's a sad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a groundbreaking movie or anything.
Is that 9/11
My
movie?
entire
Yeah, it's
exposure to
9/11.
Adam Sandler is his classics, his terrible comedies, and this.
Oh, his Happy Madison, and then his Netflix, and then yeah. So so what did you guys think about Sandler? Because this is the first time that you've really seen a full movie with him outside of what you're comfortable watching him in.
I thought it was awesome. The energy that he brings to this role, like it was so good in the fact that it was almost just exhausting just watching him just keep, like, he did not stop the entire movie.
Exactly.
But as a credit to the performance, I don't know how, like, I'm sure there are people out there like this that exist, but I don't know how you carry that much energy throughout your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And all the pressure that he has as he keeps, like, betting on his bets and betting on those bets and
Pawning things.
Pawning off things to make bets, then pawning those things.
Wow.
That just plays into that. I mean, I know people that have that addictive personality and that just get caught up in that kind of thing. And it's once you get in over your head, it's like so hard to get back out. But as far as his performance, I thought he was good throughout. I mean, there was a lot of hype behind him leading up to this, movie with, awards and stuff. And I don't even think he was nominated, though. I know they were really campaigning for him for an Oscar, but
he was nominated for some of the other awards.
Yeah.
Not Oscars, but other awards, and he gave a really great speech. I want to say it was the Independent Movie Awards or something like that. But he gave a really great speech, and it's something I suggest everybody seek out because it's classic Sandler doing his jubba-dubba-doo and all that, like all his.
I remember seeing the clip of it. I mean, comedic actors like Sandler and Carey and a lot of people of that ilk, they seemingly pretty easily make the transition to more dramatic roles. I mean, that old saying of like, comedy is drama plus timing or something like that. It kind of lends itself for them to make that transition. But
this role too, like he almost plays what you would think would be a caricature of this type of person, and like that's like right up his alley. Like very energetic roles. Like
some of the best dramatic actors are comedians in a past life. I mean, Robin Williams was a great dramatic actor. I think he was quite the chameleon for everything that he did. And I mean, later generations probably didn't even know that Robin Williams was a comedian at one point, stand-up comedian at that, So it's pretty interesting to see because they're, comedians have a lot of darkness inside of them, and so they have a lot to pull from. So
explains a lot.
Al used to be a comedian.
So
Stop.
No, I don't want to talk about that. So anyway,
No, please.
so but anyway, they have a lot of darkness inside them. So it's like Michael Keaton was a stand-up comedian. I mean, things of that nature, and he's one of the better actors nowadays. I mean, and his resurgence. So it's kind of neat to see people kind of fish out of water, and they do it so well. And it's almost like the dramatic actors wish they could be comedians, and the comedians wish they could be dramatic actors, and then 9 times out of 10, I would say the comedians can pull off the dramatic, but the drama actors, like dramatic actors, it's very hard to go the other way. In most cases, I would say some people can pull it off, but in most cases, I would say it's hard. But
one of the things too that I with this movie was one of the things that really drew me to watching this movie was seeing Kevin Garnett in the trailers, actually, because I usually can't stand athletes or whatever acting.
I can't stand.
And
them
I watched
either.
I watched the trailer. Yeah.
Brandon loves sports once again,
or
everybody.
athleting or anything. but seeing the trailers, I was like, wow, all right.
Yeah, he's good.
This could be interesting.
He's good in this. That was the surprise for me, is how good he was. Just considering, you know.
Yeah, he was really good.
I don't know if he's acted anything else, but this is the first time I'd ever seen him act in something.
Nothing substantial that I know of.
I don't know of anything.
Just every once in a
you
while.
see a lot of these higher profile athletes or, you know, like rock stars. I mean, they're used to being in the spotlight and putting on a show, so to speak. So I can see how that could be a transition that's, you know, a little bit easier, but it's still impressive for some reason when they.
No, I think so. I watch a little more sports than you, right?
Just a little.
But with all the, like, you think about all the commercials and stuff you see of these guys, like athletes in commercials, and they're just all like reading off a cue card, like it's you know, it's
Major
an
League.
athlete, yeah, olfactory emanations, upside down. And there's some exceptions, like Baker Mayfield does a good job, Peyton Manning always did a good job, but it's rare to see an athlete be able to pull this off this well as like he does in this movie.
Yeah. And the other thing is is that, like we already talked about, the Julia character played by Julia Fox. She's really good. It's her first movie. And then you got Idina Menzel, who is
Elsa.
mostly known. Well, I mean, she's known for Elsa, but she's also been. I think she was the big person, like the first cast of Witch or whatever that Wicked. That's what it was called. That musical, and Rent, if I'm not mistaken. But she's like.
So one of my favorite scenes in the movie was her when. Do you get the moment when they're at doing? I think it's like a bar mitzvah or something, maybe, or maybe just a family gathering.
Where she's in the pink dress.
And yeah, and she's and he's like, you think you're finally getting like a heartfelt moment, and he's like wanting her to get back together with her, and she's just like, your face is so stupid.
I don't want you to touch me. And she goes ham on him, but she was really good in this. I mean, again, she's an actress, but she was very thankful that the Safdie brothers allowed her to play a different type of character. So not only was Sandler playing outside of his, type.
Is she from New York?
I'm not sure if she is or not. I'll look it up, but
because that accent was great. She is not from New York.
I wonder if people from New York look at the New York accents like we look at the Southern accents. Because
leave it in the comments.
Yeah. Let us know how people feel about.
Right, Brandon.
That's right, man. Drop your comments in the comments.
So, but yeah, she was great. But also some of the bit parts in this movie were real people out of that world, like the main henchman, Phil, I think his name was, the guy that ended up
pops him.
That guy is just a regular guy that they found, and he was the best in the movie to me.
He was awesome. That dude was when they kept showing him in that glass room at the end. I was like, this is not going well.
I was like, good Lord, this guy is like.
Yeah,
every time they showed him, he's like more wet with sweat, like.
He's done that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was shaking somebody else down. Look, you can be in my movie. You can be in my movie.
I want you. For this scene, I want you to. We're gonna shoot in this. I got this. I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah, she is from New York, Idina Menzel. So.
Okay. So
there you go. But I thought everybody in this movie was really good and serviceable for sure. They all felt like the real character. Man, that apartment that he had with the Julia character, that place felt so skeezy. It just like made my skin crawl. And but I don't know. I think it's funny
everything he did, like it's just when he's driving home from that get together and he's like. It's like, I gotta go pick something up at the apartment. His wife's like, kids, we're going to the apartment.
Yeah. And I mean, they even got like Tilda Swinton to be the voice of the auctioneer at the auction house, the auction manager.
Oh yeah.
So
Didn't realize that was her.
But I mean, like, everybody. I mean, if you go to IMDb and you look through, I mean, they had Natasha Lyonne was a voice as one of the Boston player personnel, and then John Amos, which is funny. He's from the show Good Times, was the neighbor when his son has to go to the bathroom. So he was from the show Good Times and a bunch of movies, of course.
Number 1 or number 2?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't that neighbor. He was the first neighbor that said no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they just had a bunch of bit players in here and bit parts in here played by pretty big people. The Weeknd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Love
it was
his stuff.
Judd Hirsch too was pretty awesome. Like he's just real intense. Like
well, at first I was like, he looks a lot like Judd Hirsch because he's a lot older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was very good, and then Bargosian, I can never say his name right, Bargosian, that played the cousin that was shaking him down.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was really good.
Sure.
I felt like he was convincing as well. And you could see hate in his eyes. You could see.
No doubt.
You could feel how much they actually hated the cousin.
When they were locked in that I don't know what you call the room between entering and the jewelry store or whatever. That was like every time they showed that group, they were just like, this is like a boiling pot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm still just flipping through all the cast, and I mean, there are so many people in here that it's just crazy. So instead of boring everybody with every single person, because there's so many, I mean, you had Trinidad James, a rapper. I got gold all on my watch.
They did a really good job, kind of what you were talking about, like with the, I don't know, like mob guy who like threw him in the pond or the fountain outside. They had a lot of people that just you felt really natural to that world. Like the one that stands out to me was the guy who ran the pawn shop where he gives him Garnett's ring.
Yeah,
You know
I think he was one of the real people. I want to say that.
There you go. Yeah,
and I love when movies do that because it feels it puts me in the story more. And the thing is that the fact they did that helped me. I don't want to say I forgot it was Adam Sandler, but it helped me not sit there and think about Adam Sandler the whole time. Like, I mean, at times I did forget it was Adam Sandler because I was so mad at this character for just being such a jerk. I mean, to his family, to his kids, and ultimately when he gets shot in the end, I'm like, you so deserved it, man. Like, you deserved to get shot.
Yeah, that was
I mean, not that
great.
anybody deserves to get shot.
Finally gets the win of his life, and it just doesn't matter.
and the way that they did that, the way they shot him in the head, it just came out. Now, Brandon, did somebody spoil this for you ahead of this end of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
A podcast.
Which one?
I think it was actually Fighter the Kid. So
it was Santino, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Santino. Andrew
What
Santino.
a jerk. You redheaded jerk.
Redheads.
You redheaded jerk.
Al can say it because he is one.
Yeah. What's up, you ginger? No, we're just kidding around. But did they just say it out of the blue?
Yeah, I mean it was kind of off the cuff, like they were just making small talk about it.
I've dropped a couple of spoilers to Brandon over the years on accident, and his reaction to receiving spoilers is pretty classic. I remember a couple at Evo Shield that were pretty great.
Well, I've never seen anybody go to the links that Brandon goes to not have a movie spoiled for him. So I do give him kudos for his efforts, because he will literally kind of like look at the floor, close his ears when a trailer comes on if he's already seen one.
You don't do that?
Me? I mean.
Oh yeah, me neither. I don't do that. Stupid.
Well, I don't do
I'm
it
not
as
making
much
fun
anymore.
I'm not making. I'm not making fun of Brandon either. I'm saying that he really does make a great effort, and to have this
Look,
movie
Al,
spoiled.
What I'm saying is I do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. When I see a trailer, I try not to see more than one. Like, I try to make my mind up. Like, I'm going to see that movie regardless, so there's no point in me seeing anything else on it. But I mean, as far as trailers go, for the most part, I can kind of witness protection my brain and just completely forget 90% of what I saw after I saw it. I don't know.
Kramer, his mental alarm clock.
Yeah, we're making all sorts of Seinfeld jokes tonight. So, but anyway,
yeah.
But
well,
no,
I mean, kind of back to that. I was just gonna say, yeah, I got that spoiled for me, and it honestly, it obviously took the element of surprise out of that. I kept waiting to
That's
for
a
that to
bummer.
happen.
It is. It's like having Sixth Sense spoiled for you. That happened to me.
But Melissa didn't know about it, and so I kind of got to like live vicariously through her a little bit, as far as her shock with it. But
so I really value the unexpected in movies in that sense. So that would suck to have that one.
So did you expect it at all, Ryan?
Did not expect. Certainly did not expect it to happen that way. I was kind of expecting the colon cancer thing to come back into play.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was expecting that more than something.
yeah, I mean they kind of it's kind of a little bit of a bait and switch. Like they kind of tee you up thinking, things are actually going to work out for this guy, and then they just rip it out from under you. And I don't know, were you guys rooting for him at all, or were you wanting him to like kind of?
There's a part of you that's like,
I was.
This guy's a family. Like
that's exactly why I was rooting for him, because he had kids, and I mean he was a sleazeball. I mean I didn't think he was a good person. I wasn't like, oh man, he's gonna treat his wife right and everything. I don't like when people get taken away from their kids. I don't think anybody does. I don't think I'm alone in that. It just breaks my heart. Yeah, you're a monster. But no, I like when he was like hanging out with his son and everything, and he was taking his son up to the apartment so his son could use the bathroom or whatever, and he was trying to hide all that from him. It's just funny, man, what people that are divorcing or separated or whatever think their kids don't know. And the kid was like, "Who's the hot girl in your apartment? They said that." Is that mom? And I was like, first off, don't think if your mom is a hot girl. I think my mom's a pretty lady, but I ain't thinking of her as a hot girl. But no,
this is getting weird out.
I'm from Alabama. No,
you can
but
also make that joke.
Out.
Yeah. But no, it just broke my heart. That was one of my heart started breaking for him a little bit. I was like, man, you've got this great little family, and he's got a nice little house, and it looks like he has good money and everything, but he's just blowing it.
It's one of those things where you watch the movie and you're like, okay, in order for this to be a good movie, this guy needs to be punished, but not punished to the point of death. So like, where is that?
Yeah. There wasn't a happy little bow put on this movie at all.
Yeah.
You're stressed out the entire movie, and then that happens, and then you're just like sad, and then you're like, it's like there's no let up, and then you're just thinking about it. Yeah, it's well made. It is very well made. So.
What did you guys think about the score?
I also enjoyed the score. Like you're talking about like the like keyboard type.
It's very synth
music they play
based.
Yeah.
I know that they do this intentionally, as far as having it very high in the mix to kind of tense things up a little more, especially in Good Time. Good Time almost to a point where I was like, especially the beginning of that movie. And I even said this to you when we watched it out. I was like, I don't know if I can take much more of this score, because it was like the kind of music that I imagine they play for like interrogating, like terrorists to get them to talk. Like it was just like nauseating. This one was more pleasant as far as listening to it, but it was very high in the mix, which I don't know. I'm not too big a fan of, but I at least enjoyed it more than the Good Time score.
I mean, it was the same guy. Same guy made both scores.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed how it played in the like opening sequence that they did, where like zoomed into the
colon,
the colon, and like
it was Sandler's
or
colon,
whatever. Yeah, we think that was really Adam Sandler's colon.
Yeah, practical effects,
method acting. Hey guys, I'm gonna get colon ask. Anybody want to come along? Yeah, I thought the coal miners or whatever, the jewel miners or whatever you call them, I thought they were really good. That freaking compound fracture at the front.
The open fracture.
Oh, I don't do well with that.
It's pretty gnarly.
I don't do well with that. But
like Alex Smith flashbacks.
Yeah.
Sports joke, Brandon.
Yeah, sports joke. He just came back. Good for him.
He did.
So anyway, this movie I thought was really good. I think it's hard to watch it a second time. I think it's fun to watch just the way that they went about the story and things of that nature. And I think it's really fun to hear them talk about the movie. But this movie, it's so frustrating. So
How far apart were your screenings?
Before Christmas and today. So,
gotcha. Because I watched it
almost a year.
I watched it probably like I guess, when did it come out on Netflix? It was right after it came out on Netflix. So
I'm gonna say
like
February.
Yeah,
March.
so I watched it right when it came out, and then I watched it the other day, and I very much enjoyed the second screening of it. I mean, it's still stressful, but
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I'm just saying I think you have to be in a certain state of mind for this.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
I think you don't need to be in a good mood. Like, you don't need to be like, hey, I'm going to knock this movie out. I'm going to knock this movie out, and then I'm going to go to a kid's birthday party. I don't think you need to do that.
We watched this, and Melissa was telling Holly, my sister-in-law, she's like, yeah, we watched Adam Sandler movie. She's like, oh, Adam Sandler? I want to watch that. And I'm like, you don't want to watch this, Holly. This is not Happy Madison.
Yeah, this
isn't Hubie Halloween.
Drew Barrymore's not in this one. They're not dressed up like they're in the 80s, and she doesn't have a brain defect. Yeah, so yeah,
I thought that like we were saying earlier, I thought I liked the realism to it, as far as like, especially like you guys were talking about having real people that that have this type of profession play those
very
characters.
Raw feeling, for sure.
Because a lot of times you'll see studios try that. What was that military movie they made not too long ago with like real militaries, like
I know what you're talking about.
The Parrot.
Something,
no, I think you're talking about the
something.
Oh well, yeah, the Paris one as well. I never. That was the Clint Eastwood one. Sometimes that stuff doesn't work out. Like it just, but for
Active
whatever reason,
I think going back to Kevin Garnett, I feel like if Kevin Garnett didn't pull off what he pulled off, that movie would have been a lot different.
Yeah. If it was like your common bad sports actor. Like
sure. I thought you were saying Common specifically. I was like, yes, I agree.
Common, the rapper Common. Yeah. Oh, he's terrible in everything.
Guess we won't get him on the pod either.
I can't stand his acting.
He's so good in Suicide Squad.
If he's in a movie, it takes me right out of the movie. It's like, oh God, this guy. It's like watching cardboard.
Joker.
He's so bad. He is so bad.
Hey Jay.
So
well, on behalf of everyone, welcome back.
like how you get like a southern accent.
Yeah, he's terrible.
On behalf of everyone.
And his music's pretty awful too. So, anyway, so
Al bookends that conversation.
I can't stand Common. I can't stand. I don't know of him as a person, but as far as his professional endeavors,
He's a
you
pretty.
don't
not
know
working.
Common as a person.
He's a pretty
Not
good
working.
person.
yeah, I was right. Y'all are text buddies. I forgot. So I'll be honest with you. I don't really have much else to say about Uncut Gems. I mean, I think it's a good movie. I think it's worth watching.
I feel like we've been podcasting about it for 2 hours, but it's in all reality with all the like having to cut and stuff. It's only been about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you guys have anything else to add to the Uncut Gems?
No. I mean, do we want to jump into or skip it, ship it, buy it?
Yeah, that's what I was about to do.
Pawn
All right. So Ryan, would you buy it, skip it, burn it, flip it and reverse it? What would you do?
it. Twist it. Bop it.
Exactly.
You're
My uncle hates that song. If you start playing that song, my uncle will lose his mind. Anyway.
Oh, Al's uncle.
Oh, it's fantastic. He's the one that got me into movies.
I would buy this movie. I
Have you
picked
bought it?
So it's probably
Did
not the
you
biggest,
buy
the
it?
biggest surprise. Yes.
Okay.
You
You
said
heard it here
watched on
first, people.
Netflix, so it's cute.
Yeah.
do I?
You said you
Yeah,
watched.
you said you watched it on
so
Netflix, so that's why.
It was on sale. Got that $5 Amazon or $7 Amazon, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's how I bought it.
But it's a fun one to watch, and like Al was kind of saying, it's not something that you're. Let's throw Uncut Gems on like
Family
on a
night.
Saturday afternoon.
Everybody get the kids over.
Yeah.
We're going to watch it and have a barbecue.
And this is why you don't gamble on sports.
Oh, man. Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, but it's a good movie. And if you're a movie collector, I would say it's definitely worth owning as well.
Yeah. Okay. Brandon, what do you think? What would you
I
do?
mean, I couldn't say just for everyone to buy it, even though I did buy it, and I would recommend people buy any kind of physical media if they're into that. But I mean, if you have Netflix, definitely stream it on Netflix at a minimum. It is stressful. It's not something like I was saying earlier. It's not something that I will return to very often, but even returning to it this time, I was able to just kind of focus on the performances. And there's a lot of good stuff to return to in a second watch, even though, like you were saying, it was really, really hard. But so I would just not say skip it. I'd say buy it if you like to buy physical media, or if you have a digital collection, buy it. And
if you don't like to buy physical media, start liking to buy physical
you should.
media.
Yeah, definitely should.
Or
either
die.
At a minimum, stream it on Netflix if it's still on there, and I think it is. It is. Or rent it from your local Redbox if you have one of those.
Al? What about you? It's a movie. You can see
I would,
like it or not like
I would
it or not
say,
watch it.
I would say watch it, rent it or stream it. I would say that because, like Brandon's saying, it's not for everybody to buy. I think it is a conversation movie, so I would say watch it with as many people as you possibly could. Have like a movie night with some friends.
Yeah.
But have everybody watch the trailer before they agree to come over for the movie night, because you don't want somebody going.
Blindside them with this one.
I thought you said an Adam Sandler movie, like Brandon's sister-in-law. You don't want her. You don't want those folks coming over.
Is that what your sister-in-law sounds like, Brandon? I thought you said an Adam Sandler movie.
she's
close.
country. She's country.
She is country.
Yeah, and I mean that in the best way. But no, I I just think that it's a good movie to have a good like I would say plan the movie night and eat afterwards so you can talk about the movie afterwards because it's going to be one you want to discuss for sure. That's the way I would do it. But if you do like owning movies, I say buy it. I bought it on discount as well. It is one that you're going to want to show other people. So instead of having to rent it all the time after they take it off of streaming, you have it. And so I think it's worth owning in that regard.
I will say that after we watched it, like I said, I blind bought it. After we watched, I was like, "Oh man, did I make a mistake buying this? Because I don't know if I'm ever going to want to watch it again, just because of how stressful it was." And it's not a knock on the movie. It's just one of those movies. It's like, whew, you got to, like you were saying, you got to be in the right mood to sit down and watch it.
Yeah,
So,
it's but I think it's worth doing. So, everybody, that's our review on Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems. So, so what are we gonna watch?
Talk no good.
Well, you make me think of Tropic Thunder. So, guys, what are we gonna watch next week? We have something for everybody to vote on. So, Brandon, what are you?
A little bit of a Halloween theme.
Yeah, we're gonna bring some Halloween your way, and then we're gonna have one main review, but then we're also gonna throw in some suggestions of movies you can have to watch for Halloween as our wrap up next week as well. So, Brandon, what do you want to throw into the pot this week for voting?
So, I am going to throw in the new movie, which is a remake, The Witches, from our boy Bob Zemeckis, also produced by Guillermo del Toro, starring Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, and Stanley Tucci.
Yeah,
it comes out, I believe, it's HBO Max, and I think it comes out Thursday, which is probably about the time this is going to drop. So
yeah,
this is one that would have come out in theaters, so it's worth checking out.
Yeah, so that's my nomination, The Witches, 2020,
okay.
Not the original.
The original. And Ryan, what are you going to put out there for everybody to vote on?
I'm gonna throw it way back and give a little Michael Myers action. The original Halloween.
Rob Zombie.
Oh gosh,
Austin Powers, gold member.
I wouldn't wish that on our listeners.
Oh man, that movie's rough.
You'll never look at children the same.
What?
I was personally, this is one of those movies where this is one of the first horror movies that I ever saw, and I watched it at a buddy's house when I was like too young to watch it, probably like 10 years old or something. He had HBO. His parents went out to dinner, so we were like, let's see what's on HBO. It was like around Halloween time, and popped it on. It was like thunderstorming outside, and just absolutely terrified me. So got a lot of respect for it to this day.
Nice. I am going to throw a movie out there that is not necessarily a Halloween movie, but it is a scary movie, and it's one of the best movies of all time in my opinion. And I know I'm the resident weirdo, but I'm going to throw out one with Mr. Kurt Russell, the original The Thing.
Christmas Chronicles 2. Oh.
No, The Thing. So,
Dang it.
Yeah, I'm not. I think that movie needs to be seen by more eyes, and I think that we would have a great time talking about it.
You gonna get the Mondo poster?
Whew. Those things are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are some good artwork out there. The Thing has inspired. The Thing and Alien, the original Alien, have inspired quite the artwork out there. So go check that out.
True.
Well, guys and gals, Ryan's going to tell you where you can go vote.
So you can drop your votes down in the comments on YouTube or on social, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's at CiNEMACHiNE And let us know your picks. Let us know what you think of the episode. And we will be back here again.
Yeah, everybody. See you on the other side for the wrap up. All right, we're back. Welcome to the wrap up. First and foremost, Brandon's going to give us the news. Take it away.
So, news this week. We have a few things on the dock. Most of our news lately is just like announcements for like, these casts are going to be in this movie, and that's a lot of what this week is. So
they keep promising movies.
These hypothetical movies.
Since we last spoke,
this is kind of 2035.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they have a date for this one yet, but I mean, it's been long gestated. It's like ever since Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road, come out, they've been promising that they've been wanting to do either a sequel or a prequel, and it's been long rumored that George Miller was wanting to do a Furiosa-centric movie. And I don't know if it was always his idea to do a prequel or if he just kind of felt like that Charlize Theron was aging out of the part, and maybe either the story he wanted to tell just wasn't a fit for
I don't think she wanted to do it again, did she?
I don't know. I mean, I know that her and Tom Hardy didn't get along at all on Fury Road, but they've kind of seemingly made up since then.
They're dating.
It shows in the
and they also have been on record saying that they really didn't have the trust that they needed in George Miller, because they were really worried, because there's a lot of production problems that happened.
Sure.
And they were really worried that they didn't know kind of what was going to happen with that movie once it kind of came to fruition. But, in my opinion, it came together pretty well, and in a lot of opinions. But anyway, I say all that to say this. They have officially announced that they've at least cast 3 people in the Furiosa. I assume it's a prequel. Anya Taylor-Joy is seemingly playing Furiosa, so it seems to be more of an origin story for her. Chris Hemsworth is playing somebody. A lot of people think that he may be playing a younger version of Immortan Joe. And Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is also in there at an undisclosed role. But they don't...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I loved Fury Road, and I wanted more from that world. I'm kind of bummed. I generally don't like prequels as much.
Well, it's gonna be. It's like, how did she lose her arm?
Yeah,
this is how she did it.
It's not. Yeah, I think I've just been beaten down by Star Wars prequels and stuff. Like, it's just like, I know where this is gonna end up, guys.
Yeah, it's always tricky when you do a prequel. Sometimes it works out. Most times it doesn't.
I just would have liked to see something beyond versus looking back, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do like the actress they've got playing.
Yeah, no, I like her too. Chris Hemsworth is an interesting addition.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, as is Yahya, but I mean, both solid. I mean, as far as the 3 leads, solid leads, but we'll see. I mean, George Miller, what is he? We talked about this the other day. What is he, like 75 now? I think we said. I can't remember.
Yeah.
His body of work is really interesting. It's like, obviously the original Mad Max stuff, and then like Babe, and then
he did a lot of
Happy Feet.
Yeah, he went all over the place.
He was supposed to do a Justice League movie at one point that they were ready to shoot, and then writer's strike happened, and they had to shut down production. That never happened. Yeah.
Speaking of Justice League. Okay. sorry, Al. I won't do that to you.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, not much else on that front. And I will note that the Hollywood Reporter did say that this movie hasn't been officially greenlit, but I guess they're still in the pre-pro process. But I mean, I imagine it'll happen.
Yeah, that movie made a ton of cash, didn't it?
I think it did. I don't remember it being a runaway success financially. I think it did pretty good, maybe better than they expected it to. But I think the acclaim that they got was the big, thing to note about this one versus its box office.
I guess so it says it grossed $375 million against its 150 to 185 budget. So no, it didn't really make.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's become like a cult classic almost.
Yeah.
If you want to call it that.
It's a good movie. Yeah. I'm going to take a sip of my beer real quick. Sorry, hang on.
Oh, boy.
Is that Terrapin?
This is the, it's Terrapin glass, but can't tell you what's in it.
Just trying to give some free product placement. Could go
This
for
is
a
the
Fresca
laid back
right now,
section.
am I right, Brandon?
I'm trying to keep this section chill, Gotta,
You know what I mean?
Figured beer
Could
was
go
a good
for a
call.
Fresca, right?
Pull your mic down, Ryan, so we can see your face.
Could go for a Fresca, right, Brandon?
Yeah, that's right.
The Boys.
That is
Let's
right.
mention it for a fourth week. Hey, go watch The Boys. It's great.
Yep. Moving on. Al, you sent us this news story. Ridley Scott and Joaquin are teaming up again for a Napoleon movie. I believe it was you that sent it to us, right?
That was me.
That was you. Oh, sorry, Al. Why you move so far away from the mic? What are you doing?
You told me to get chill.
Oh, but move up. Now we got to zoom in on your face again.
With those AirPods and your hoodie and you chilling back there, you look so bro right now.
Chilling. I'm relaxing the cut.
So, Ridley Scott just finished production
Freestyle.
on The Last Duel with our boy Batfleck and Matt Damon and Adam Driver. And
Yeah, dude's got a full slate. Ridley Scott, we were talking about it the other day.
stays busy. It's good. I mean, dude,
Hey,
it's
man.
good on him. I mean,
What did we say it was? He's got new Alien movies, got Raised by Wolves, he's got this movie, Napoleon movie, Gladiator.
Funeral to plan. He's old. I think he's really trying to escape death. I think he's just trying to stay busy because the Grim Reaper can't catch up with him.
situation going on. He's trying to pay off some debts.
He's trying to pay off for his big sarcophagus.
yeah, I mean, more power to him, man. I mean,
You
can't blame him. Oh, he's also doing that Gucci movie
Gucci.
with De Niro and Pacino and Driver and Jared Leto, Lady Gaga. Anyway, this movie is called
When did you start calling him Leto?
Leto. Jared Leto. I
You
don't know.
always say Leto. Something happened?
I call him.
Pacino, Leto, De Niro.
He's the kind of person that wears AirPod Pros.
He really is. He really is. Oh.
Look what you've
Speaking
I'm
of
Jared Leto.
Speaking of, we'll probably talk about this a little later, but the leader of the Nexium cult, he reminds me of Leto for some reason.
I can see that.
I'm not sure why.
See it.
Anyway, but yeah, so he's doing this with Joaquin, so teaming up again. Have they done anything together since Gladiator? I can't think. of
Not to my
anything.
recollection.
Yeah.
Have not.
It's called Kit Bag. I don't know if that name will stick.
Wait,
I
what
doubt
is?
it. That sounds like a
Working
like
title.
Working title.
Production title, yeah. Could use some Project 166. Am I right, Brandon?
Yeah.
It's another Justice League joke.
So yeah, but it focuses on Napoleon, and that's all that's kind of said about it. But Ridley Scott continuing to make movies, good on him.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add to that?
No,
Add to that.
You excited
I'm
for
just
more
afraid.
Ridley Scott?
I'm just,
I mean, Al,
I'm just
you and I.
afraid
The
that
last
all
thing.
this stuff's going to be really half baked.
I've said
Yeah.
it before, and I'll say it again. He's got to reprove himself to me. I don't trust him any longer.
Well, I haven't
Was he
seen.
involved with? He did Prometheus, right?
Yeah.
Did Prometheus? He did.
And
I love
he's doing-
Prometheus. Did he do Covenant?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
hated Covenant. Okay.
I hate
I
it.
didn't like Covenant
It was
either. We had a lot of. Al was stoked for that movie. He
I
was so
was-
let down
yeah.
when we got out of that movie.
I was.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that movie actually
Thought I watched the
gets,
Zack Snyder.
Covenant actually gets kind of good at the end, but by that time you're like, I'm done. I don't want to watch this movie
I
anymore.
did not like that.
Like once
movie.
it gets kind of close quarters at the end, it's like, okay, this feels more like an alien movie. But by the time you get there, it's just like
I did not
wasted-
appreciate how that movie treated Prometheus.
That
Did not
stupid
appreciate
girl's haircut. I hated everything about that movie. Oh,
That's Al's complaint is her haircut.
I hate her haircut. Big mushroom head. Anyway, what else you got, Brandon?
Okay, moving on. Al, you said we talked about this last week. I don't remember it, but if we did, I'm sorry. But
Brandon
Adam
doesn't listen
McKay.
to the episodes, even when he's here. He doesn't listen.
Well,
But you guys should.
it wasn't in my show notes, so I didn't bring it up last week. Maybe y'all did. I just don't remember talking about it. But
It was in your news. It was
no, it wasn't. I just checked it. I've checked it twice. It's not in there.
Fact checker.
I've checked it twice, okay? Just like Santa. Anyway, Adam McKay is doing that. I assume it's a political movie. Most of his movies now are political.
Yeah.
But cast is stacked. Leo, Kate Blanchett, Jonah Hill, Timothy Chalamet.
If Leo's in it, Al's in it.
Standout in this list is Matthew Perry. Haven't seen him anything in a while.
Oh, good. I like him.
But yeah.
That's amazing. Hates
He was in a
Leonardo
really good
DiCaprio,
show.
loves Matthew Perry.
He was in a really good show with Sarah Pauli. Is that her name?
Paulson.
Paulson?
Sarah
Yeah.
Paulson.
Well, it was like right when 30 Rock started, another show started that was about, and I think it was Aaron Sorkin that wrote this one. Anyway, I really enjoyed that show. I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but
Friends.
no, it wasn't Friends. But no, I like Matthew Perry. I think he's underrated. So please proceed. Sorry.
Well, as far as the movie itself, I don't. There's a lot of stuff about Killers of the Flower Moon in this article, and I'm trying to figure out if that's the Scorsese project that he was also attached to, but maybe. This movie's either going to Amazon or it's going to Netflix. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
This is riveting.
But yeah, this is what you should expect. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out
well,
if it's this movie or that movie.
If we talked about it,
either
we'll
going
just,
to
if we
Amazon or
if we
this, I
are
don't know.
if we
I'll
already
figure
talked
it
about
out.
it, then we'll just put the segment from last week in here. But I don't think we did.
That show was called Studio 60.
Okay.
I do remember that. Yeah.
It was a good show. It was a really good show. I
I
think, if I'm not mistaken, the guy from, not that I watched, I want to say one of the guys from the Bazinga show. What's that called? Big Bang Theory. That one. I think one of the guys from that show is in that Studio 60 show too.
Gotcha.
Word.
I'm giving you more news than Brandon's giving you right now. So.
Well. But yeah, I think this movie's called Don't Look Up. I found it. Found it, guys.
Remember how he was bragging about
It's so
reading the
hard.
show notes?
Look, this is why I need to. My news sources need to be like the sources that source the source, because the original source, they just talk way too freaking much about
You
stuff
said
that's
source
not.
a lot.
Yeah, I need the source that sources the source. Like a screen rant. Anyway, so yeah, and it's not going to Prime. I think it might be going to Apple, but it could be wrong.
And once again, batting 225 now. Good Lord.
Okay, next topic.
Please.
Let's move it. Let's move on.
Talk about anything else.
What do you guys think about Coming to America?
Oh, Coming to America too.
Coming to America with a 2.
I know that's the title. But yeah.
Coming, but you said
I'm pretty excited about the resurgence of old Eddie Murphy. I like him a lot. Coming to America, the original Coming to America, is great. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
I'm a big fan of the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy, so they're going to make a 4th one of that as well. So I'm really excited about it.
This is directed by the guy that did Dolomite. For some reason,
that was a good movie too.
I'm kind of
you fell asleep during it, but
I'm kind of neutral on this one. I have a fear that it's going to get political, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think he'll stay away from it. I don't know. I have a feeling that I trust him with comedy, so I have a feeling he'll stay on task.
Well, the news is that
oh God.
Paramount.
News.
Yeah. The new.
Yeah.
So Paramount was going to be putting this out, and they sold it to Amazon.
Oh, that's conflict of interest.
$125 million.
Good for them.
Wow. A lot of money.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just made that big deal with Netflix as well for stand-up special, and they're going to be releasing a couple movies.
They're really counting on that nostalgia on this one.
I mean,
I'll be there.
I don't. What do you? I mean, this movie probably cost. I don't know what the scale of this movie is, but I mean, just knowing the first one, I can't imagine it being super expensive to make.
I'd imagine it probably cost. I mean,
20 million, maybe 25. I mean, I don't know.
Are you talking about without his salary?
Well, I don't know what his salary is now. I don't think he's as big of a name as he used to be.
These are all just arbitrary numbers that were without his salary or with his salary.
Well, I mean, he just signed. I mean, he signed.
You think they had catering or?
He signed a really big deal with Netflix, so I'm surprised to see this going to Amazon.
Well, it's not as surprising considering that his
though,
last movie went to Netflix. So, Dolomite
that was part
Netflix.
of that was part of his deal. I think he's going to do Beverly Hills Cop 4 over there as well, if I'm not mistaken. But no, I'm excited about it.
We'll fact check you and find out.
I think it'll be I think it'll actually be like a $40 or $50 million budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I trust Amazon. Like we said in prior episodes, I trust Amazon with movies more than I trust Netflix with movies. So I feel like they'll put the love where it needs.
I also started, speaking of Amazon, it's kind of getting off track a little bit, but Brandon will reel us back in.
Go
sure
for it.
about that?
There is a movie I started watching just after work today. I just want to put something on, and it's called The Lie, I think. It's a Blumhouse
made a
movie.
really big impression on you. You couldn't remember the title.
It's a Blumhouse movie. Yeah.
I got a ton of those right now.
I would really be interested to see what Al, you specifically think about it.
The Lie? That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's about two parents who are divorced, and their daughter accidentally or unaccidentally
It's got Peter Sarsgaard in it.
Yeah, and Mariel Enos also. She's in The Killing. Their daughter accidentally kills her friend, and they try to cover it up. And it's just very it's kind of like an Uncut Gems in that sense. It's real, you're just on edge, bad decision.
From just the still that I see of it right now, it kind of looks like a Prisoners type movie.
Yeah.
Real gray.
Yeah.
So I'll watch tonight before I go to bed. Make me sleep like a lamb.
Let me know what you think about it. I'm curious.
Will do.
What was the transition to that? How did we get on that?
Amazon movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Now you can reel us back in, Brandon.
Well, I was just yeah. But yeah, so that's going to Amazon. Not sure when, but who knows? We'll find out later, probably.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
we've been locked out of our houses.
Amazon's been scooping up a few things lately. I mean, they're getting the Borat movie this month, and they're getting this whenever it comes. I think they got that Regina King directed One Night in Miami, that movie about like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X and all these guys meeting up in a hotel back in the 60s. It's like a true story type thing, but Regina King directed it. It's gotten a lot of buzz as of late, because I think it's screening for critics right now. But
Regina King was, if you're not familiar with her, she was in Watchmen, the HBO.
She has been around
she's been around
forever.
She's been around for a while. But
She used
she's
to be on a
having,
TV
she's having
show.
a little
I'm
bit of
just
a
saying, like,
renaissance.
something that people would recognize her from. It's popular.
What's weird is she's almost having a coming out party. She's been around forever, since like
Sure.
the early 80s. She was on a TV show I used to watch with my family called 227 with Jack A. And we used to love that show. And then she was in Friday, and I mean, she's been in tons of stuff. So it's good to see her get the recognition that she's deserved for so long. So good on her.
Yeah. Was she in? She was in that Down to Earth movie with Chris Rock. Do you remember that movie where
I didn't see it.
Chris Rock?
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see
is
it.
in like a white guy's body or something, and it's like a rich guy or something. I remember.
Sounds
that was
great.
like when I was in high
What's
school.
the next piece of news?
So
I've got some news for you.
go.
I feel like you're
So
about to,
every
fart in the
year,
microphone.
huh?
So I feel like you're about to fart in the microphone. I got some news for you.
No, this isn't that kind of show. Every year, the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is on ABC TV or CBS, whichever. And this year, it will not be on network TV. Apple TV Plus has picked it up. So this is the first year.
You will watch Apple TV Plus.
Oh, well, they cut my free subscription short by 2 months, so I
They're
won't
supposed
be
to
watching.
extend it to February.
They cut mine off in August, so I'm sorry, end of July.
This guy doesn't fit our demo. Ask him.
But no, it's been on TV since I mean, like network TV since I can remember. So I mean, that's got to be the 50s. I mean, I'm so old. So I would imagine it's been on for at least three or four decades on network TV. So it's kind of a big deal. So Apple TV might be getting some folks because they're showing it for free with your subscription. So they may be getting some subscribers, or people just might go out and buy it. So I say go out and buy it.
I would say people would probably buy it. I doubt they'll subscribe for.
Yeah. I mean, pay how much is? I don't even know how much a subscription is. Like $6
I think it's
or
like
something like that.
6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the same to rent it. So, but it's one of those great classic. You can't get enough of Charlie Brown, in my opinion. So, anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
enough.
I love Charlie Brown,
Thanks, Al.
and the Charles Schultz biography is very good.
I got
If
some
you wanna
news
read.
too about Ben Affleck Batman.
Yeah, what is
I'm
it?
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay.
Go on. I don't want to do that to Al.
This is the last thing I got. Did either of y'all watch Dexter on Showtime when it was in season?
No.
So that show ran for 7 or 8 seasons. I don't remember. And it notoriously kind of just missed the landing so bad. And
Did you watch it?
I watched all of it except for the last 2 episodes. I was like, I can't watch this show anymore. And I gave up.
Weren't they married? The two main actor, Michael C. Hall.
They were,
I don't know
in
the
the
girl's
first couple seasons they were, and they divorced, and they were brother and sister
Yeah.
on the show. So brother-sister chemistry, I guess. Just goes a long way. And then it doesn't. Things don't work out, and you get divorced. And
He was really
Wow,
good
that's
on a
good.
show. He was really good on a show called 6 Feet Under on
yeah,
HBO back in the day.
yeah.
And really, really enjoyed that show. So if you haven't seen that show, I highly suggest you go back and watch that entire show. It was
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, I'll be honest. I loved the first 4 seasons of Dexter. It was really good, and then it just kind of outstayed its welcome and didn't really know what to do.
I tried to read the books.
Gotcha. I don't do
Brandon
that.
did
So.
too.
But anyway, they announced this week that Michael C. Hall not working as much anymore, so they're going to do another season of Dexter.
Interesting.
Hasn't
Something
worked
that he
since
said he'd never return
Dexter.
to. He is returning back. Hell's freezing over. Dexter's is coming back on Showtime for a 10-episode limited run. I don't know when it's coming, but yeah, I think probably the fall of 2021, I would imagine. I don't imagine. I see it right here. That was just me trying to play cool.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I hope that they can do better this time. Maybe it'll be a good redo for them. And I'll watch it. I mean, Dexter, Michael C. Hall. It's good.
All right.
So, watch the
that's awesome.
week.
So that's awesome. So Brandon was on vacation last week. Can't tell.
I was at Disney. And y'all, we were in line. I was like, "Oh, there's a news story," and I just like copied it and pasted it and threw it in the show notes, and then just like didn't read it, obviously.
Well, thanks, Brandon.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Takes a drink
So-
of his beer. It's all good.
It's good. So Ryan, let's start out with you. What's the first thing you've been watching this week? You want to get the bad out of the way first?
Yeah. It's been a doozy of a sports week here in the city of Atlanta again.
Ryan, did you see the graphic that I gave Al for your sports thing last week?
I don't think so.
Did you even use it out? Man, I didn't watch it, so I don't know if it was even used. But
Yeah, I used it.
Oh.
Hank Aaron. Yeah.
yeah, it was
I
Hank
don't know.
Aaron.
I was just listening to the episode. I didn't watch it.
I was trying to remember back. Like, did I? Yeah. Yeah.
I usually don't use the things he gives me.
Show notes. What are those? Yeah. Anyway, so what were you saying?
Yeah, so, I watched a lot of sports. Watched a lot of losing. Go Braves, go Bulldogs.
Al?
Falcons won.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. So, I don't like to get in everybody's face about it.
I do. Anytime I see somebody wearing Alabama stuff, I say it because it's fun.
It's fun to say. It's fun to say.
I have no affiliations.
Roll
For those
Tide.
of you that don't know, I work for UGA, but I could care less. I went to UGA, but yeah, I like saying Roll Tide. It's fun.
I appreciate
I-
that, Brandon.
My brother does not like me saying it.
Please tell me you text Justin right after the game. Like, Roll
Should
Tide.
Pour a little
Knock,
salt
knock,
in that wind.
Al's never invited back over to my house again. He has warped my brother.
Yeah, he's already requested that.
Yeah, that's understandable. All right, so Brandon, what was the first thing you watched this past week? What
Well,
was,
like we mentioned earlier, I was at Disney this week, so did a lot of Disney stuff. Watched a little TV at night, but nothing really to speak on. One thing that I wanted to say about my Disney trip was we talked a few episodes ago, I think, about the Avatar movies and Cameron doing like 4 of them. So I got to ride. We went to the Pandora section at Animal Kingdom, and we got to ride the Avatar Flight of Passage ride. It's kind of like a simulation ride, like you're on the back of a banshee creature, like those dragon creatures from the movie. I kind of got my interest in these like up until this point I didn't really know if there was a need for them to make any more sequels, but riding this ride and seeing more of this world and seeing more of these creatures and a lot of the the lore that is in this kind of in this world building that he's kind of established in just one movie really, honestly got me kind of excited about what he's going to do, especially knowing that he's like putting a little bit of focus into a new like underwater filming style that he's kind of invented for this movie, and seeing just curious to see what he's going to do, just on top of like seeing a lot of these other creatures that aren't in the first movie, and just how expansive and how far they can push this. I'm not like a huge fan of the first movie. I like it. I think it's a solid movie, and I think it was kind of a very fun theatrical experience. It kind of, was the first iteration of 3D, and that actually felt like it warranted the format. But just saying that this riding that ride kind of made me think, you know what, this could actually be good. And knowing Cameron and knowing how he's very meticulous, he's one of those directors that, he doesn't make a ton of movies, but he seems to have something to say when he does, and he seems to either have something to say or he's got some sort of new tech that he's pushing. He's kind of like what's the director, Ang Lee, like him or hate his movies, like he typically comes out the gate with something new that he's kind of pushing boundaries with. That's kind of what I feel about Cameron, and I'm excited to see what he does now, more so than I was before I rode that ride.
Awesome.
Which the ride's been around for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now at this point, I guess, but I just hadn't rode it. But anyway, that's one thing. We can move on to one of you guys.
So I took one for the team, fellas.
That sounds great. I'll jump back to mine now.
I watched a movie on Netflix.
What was it?
With the same actor, Adam Sandler.
Uncut Gems Part 2?
It was in Uncut Gems. I watched Hubie Halloween.
And to give you some backstory on this, we got a text from Al, like, I guess over the weekend, maybe?
Yeah, it was Saturday morning.
Yeah, and he was like, guys, I don't know what to do with this. I'm getting feedback that Hubie Halloween's actually good from trusted sources.
Yeah, people keep telling me, like podcasts that I listen to, things of that nature. People that I know, just keep telling me that it's pretty good. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm gonna see what's going on. We were in a kind of Adam Sandler state of mind with Uncut Gems, and I watched Hubie Halloween.
That good.
This movie is closer to the original Sandler stuff. It's closer. It's still not classic Sandler. It has a lot of his friends in there and stuff like that, cast of, regulars.
Sure.
Shaq's in it. Rob Schneider's in it. Kevin James is in it. Which, hey, I hear they're coming back with, there's a rumor going around they're going to bring back King of Queens. Don't know
what news segment.
To what capacity. There were some funny moments in this movie, not like hysterical. There were ideas in this movie that were funnier probably on paper than in execution. The movie, so the character Hubie himself, it was very much so pretty much Bobby Boucher, but not Southern. It was like the same idea of a character,
Yeah.
It was fun to see Sandler, cutting up and being silly. it was fun to see him actually. In some of those other Netflix movies that I saw, it kind of felt like he was doing the Bruce Willis thing, where it's like,
right,
yeah, I'm just kind of
Falling
here.
in.
I feel like he might be the nicest guy in Hollywood. I don't know, because he's like giving people jobs that nobody else would give jobs. You know, like he brings his family in. He brings in his friends that have no.
Brings in news reporters that get fired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the one joke that was funny to me, like you could tell like the germ of the joke was funny, was that all the women, all the girls, even little bitty girls, every single one of them dressed up like Harley Quinn. And I was like, that's kind of funny.
That's
you know,
pretty
like that's pretty fun. Like there were 3 like the news anchor that got fired. So this real life news anchor was in the movie from the Salem. So this is out in Salem, Massachusetts. This movie's based. And so in that area where they were filming, this real life news anchor didn't realize it was a breach of contract, and she ended up getting fired for being in the movie. So she's from the desk, she's dressed like Harley Quinn. She throws over to the weather girl. The weather girl's dressed like Harley Quinn, and then they throw out to a reporter on the scene who is Adam Sandler's actual wife, and she's dressed like Harley Quinn, and they are all super excited, and they don't care that they're all.
Which Harley Quinn are we talking about? Birds
The
of Prey
Margot-
or?
No, the other one.
I'm just kidding. We all know which one it is. No one remembers
Yeah.
Birds of Prey already.
Yeah. So
Am I right, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that was funny. The thing about Sandler movies back in the day that really held them together for me was they were hilarious and everything, but at the end of the movie they still had heart, and you cared about the characters and things of that nature. You want to care about Hubie, but I don't know. Everybody in this town hates this guy. They hate him. And are you guys ever going to watch this movie?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to spoil it. So everybody that hasn't
neither
seen
is
it,
our audience.
I suggest. So I would say that the thing that holds this movie back from being viewable by many audiences is the fact it couldn't decipher if it was a family movie or an adult movie, because it's made like a Nickelodeon movie, you know, or like a movie that you would think a Nickelodeon would make.
Mm-hmm.
But it has curse words all over the place, so you're not going to show that to kids. You know what I mean? And it has some sexual innuendo and things like that you wouldn't show to kids. Like one joke that really fell flat for me that I just thought it was trying way too hard was the mom, Adam Sandler's mom in the movie. She's really old. She's got to be in her 70s in the movie, and she's a real sweet little old lady. And she goes to Goodwill one day and buys a stack of T-shirts just because she needs new shirts or something. And every single one of the T-shirts she bought has something vulgar written on it, you know? And it was just like, oh, come on, you know? I think
he's kind of fell into that, like.
Yeah, since that's my boy.
Just
but
crass humor that's like lowbrow.
It's just
Low-hanging
bathroom humor. Yeah, so I would say if they had made this movie with families in mind, maybe not like a Disney, still put some of the good jokes in there and stuff like that.
Bedtime Stories, wasn't that like a kid movie that he did?
Yeah, it was a Disney movie, wasn't it?
What was the video game one that he did? Wasn't it geared
Click?
towards kids? No.
Pixels?
Yeah, Pixels.
That movie was bad.
I've never even heard of this movie.
Pixels?
Mm-mm.
It was a short on YouTube for a long time. A guy made it just on his own, and then Sandler and them came in and said, hey, we'll make this into a movie. So
Gotcha.
it was a great concept. It was a really cool concept. Like the video games come alive, and these gamers from back in the day have to get in there and actually
Beat
run,
Donkey Kong
like
and
save the world, basically. But anyway, back to Hubie Halloween. I think that this movie would have been really good as a family movie, or at least, up to like a PG-13. I would say it would have been really good. But I like Sandler. I want to see him do well, but I don't know. Like a lot of his movies, he just has vacations basically, and brings his friends along for a free vacation, like the Grown Ups movies and things like that. Like it's just not creative. And hey, maybe he's the smartest person in Hollywood. Maybe because he's making bank off of Netflix, and he's giving them content, and apparently people are watching because they just re-signed him. So
they seem to be. I mean,
it's fast food movies, man. That's what it is. And I hate it because I really want to see something good come out of there, because I really like him, and I like some of his friends. Like I like David Spade, and I like Nick Schwartz. I like Nick Swartzen. I'm sorry. I like Kevin James from the King of Queens. I like him in that stuff. But it's just really hard. And I like Tim Meadows. I really like Tim Meadows, and he's in this. And Maya Rudolph's in this as well, and it's just not. I don't know. It's just not funny.
I'll be honest. I was expecting a classic like Al bomb this movie the way from what I've heard about it. I've heard it's so bad.
It's really. I really wanted it to be good. I went into it with a really open mind. I will say it goes down easy because it's only like an hour 30. I mean, but you got Sandler being silly in there, and then while they're doing the credits, they have some of the outtakes of Sandler being like super nice to people, and I'm so sorry I hit the camera by accident, stuff like that, So you like Sandler, you root for the guy. I'm saying you root for the guy is what I'm saying. He seems like a really nice guy. So
it just seemed. I mean, we just talked about a Sandler movie that we all liked. I think it's like, well, I think he's self-aware.
I think he very much
that,
knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
I think so too. I think he's very smart. I think he's got his wife and his kids in this movie, and man, those two little girls look just like Adam Sandler. It's weird. It looks like when Adam Sandler puts on wigs and not as bad, but it just looks like Adam Sandler in the face. It's really
Jack
funny.
And Jane.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Jack and Jill, but I'm talking about like old SNL stuff, like Gap Girls and stuff like that. But anyway, if you want to go watch it, go watch it. I think it could go down easy for certain audiences, but it's just not my jam. So, Ryan, what's next on your docket?
You have something you want to say, Brandon?
I was gonna ask Al real quick. Was there an alum, like Happy Madison alum cameo from a character? I heard that there was.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Stiller he's the
Gilmore.
very first. Yeah, he's the he wasn't a nurse. What was he?
He was like the nursing home.
Yeah. So he's the same character, and the O'Doyles, like O'Doyle rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids, the O'Doyles are in this movie. Oh, and one other thing.
Restore the Sandler verse. He has a thermos in this movie, and it's basically like, it's the weirdest thing. He has the thermos, and it's basically like Batman's utility belt. Like people are throwing stuff at him, and it pop, and an umbrella pops out of it, and it protects him. And then he's like, he even has a grappling hook that pops out of it at one point, and he's always eating soup out of it. And as he's riding down the street, now this should have been funny, but it wasn't. He's riding down the street, and everybody hates him so much, and they're just throwing random crap at him. And he's like, just dodging everything. And he's got his thermos, and some kids are throwing eggs at him. So he catches all the eggs in his thermos, and he shakes it up, and he says, "Thanks for breakfast," and he drinks it. And then he just
pukes everywhere, and then he keeps riding on his bicycle. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, that's our review of Hubie Halloween. Follow us on Twitter.
Jeez. It was rough, man. It was rough to watch, but
he's digressed.
Earlier he was like,
earlier he was like, no, he's like,
I never said it was good. I just said
rough, man. It was real rough.
It would have been better. It would have been better if it were written and directed and performed as a children's movie. Anyway, go ahead.
Ryan, what you been watching?
I'm
sorry. That was my fault. I just wanted to know if Ben Stiller was in it.
He was. You reminded me of all that other stuff.
It just required a yes or no, Al.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
No, so I kind of talked about it last week. I started I Am Mother on Netflix and finished it.
A movie, not a series.
Correct.
Jeez.
If you're looking for I don't even remember when this came. Was it a big deal when this movie came out, or was it just kind of under the?
It was kind of under the radar.
I think Netflix wanted it to be a big deal.
Gotcha. So
when
you mentioned it was the first time that I had ever heard of it.
Yeah, I just saw a featurette about them making the robot, like Weta made the robot, and
gotcha.
That's what got my attention about the movie. I think it may have been actually. I think it was Adam Savage that was doing a tested or something on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So if you're looking for something to watch, you just don't have anything on the docket, this is one to check out. I was very surprised by it, and like I said, just watched it based on your recommendation. It's like, it pulls you back and forth. I don't want to spoil it too much because I would like people to watch it, but it pulls you back and forth so many times. It's got kind of like some Terminator vibes to it at times.
Yeah.
And the story comes to a close, but also kind of leaves it open for future installments. Don't know if that's something that they're going to pursue or not, but
yeah.
Do you know that? Have you read up on that at all?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I remember looking, like, right after I watched it, I looked into, like, I was like, who directed this? Because I thought it was pretty well made, like, you know, well shot, well directed. But the guy that had done it, let's see, his name is Grant Spator. And this is really, like, the only thing he's done. He did, like, a short and then some episodes on a movie or a show called Castaway. But this was, and there's nothing in his upcoming projects for directing, but I thought it was really, really well done.
No, it was awesome. And the all of the tech in this movie, it's a futuristic type setting, kind of apocalyptic, and all the tech is awesome. It's just super clean, super functional. Set design, I was very surprised for a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Just really well done.
I would agree. I mean, I recommended it on a previous episode, but yeah, definitely, echo that. It's good.
Yep.
So I was also surprised when I saw it.
Worth checking out. Al, also worth checking out if you don't
he
want
can't
to
get
cancel
past
a Netflix
Hillary
subscription.
Swank. He won't watch it because he's got a thing against Hillary.
I can't stand Hillary Swank. I think she's terrible.
And
she ruined the Karate Kid's trilogy.
I was gonna ask you, Brandon, have you guys watched any more of The Vow, the HBO Max?
We watched an episode last night.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're maybe 4 episodes in.
Gotcha.
Possibly.
Okay. So we just finished up. They released the last one of what I now know is the first season of the documentary. So it sounds like they're gonna do, because all the trial and stuff is ongoing. They're actually supposed to sentence Keith Raniere, the cult leader, next Tuesday. But the ending of this documentary is pretty awesome. How they kind of lead into what the next or the follow-up documentary is going to be. I'm bought in. It's going to be great.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's like where we're at now is like they're trying to like contact people that they have gotten into the program and get them out.
Sure.
And I'm just, at this point, I'm like, okay, how, like, we're only 4 episodes in. I'm like, how much more is there to this? There's 5 episodes or whatever left. I'm like, how much?
Mm-hmm. That's what I kept thinking as like as I was going through it. It's just finish it out.
Yeah, no, I'm still interested, obviously, but I'm just like, where could this possibly go?
They keep building on it and building on. It's one of those where you're like, this is like, this, yeah, like what you're saying. You can't, like, where are you gonna go with this? It just keeps getting kind of weirder and weird, like Tiger King, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, the ending of it, the follow up to this is gonna be so good. So if you guys are doc fans, we've talked about it now a couple episodes, but this is one to check out. And it's on HBO Max, so
Yep,
give it a watch.
That was the only other thing I had on my list, so
The Vow.
That's all I got, I think. Or I probably won't be watching much of else until I finish that, because any kind of free time besides what we're reviewing is going to be dedicated to that.
I'm curious to know what you think when you get to the end.
I'll let you know. Maybe next episode.
Keep me posted, you know?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Next episode, we're talking Halloween.
It's a date.
Sounds good.
I watched. I really like concert films. I really could watch concert films like ad nauseum. So I watched one that I've watched probably, at least 20 times, and it's Stop Making Sense by the Talking Heads. I suggest everybody watch this at least once in their life, because the Talking Heads are one of the most creative bands of all time, and it's hard to not dance while you listen to them. It's fantastic. So
you're gonna say it's hard to not dance while you're watching this.
It's hard not to dance because it's a concert. So, and the concert is really cool because it starts out as a bare stage, and when I say bare stage,
AirPods, he's just jamming.
Yeah,
stage with a bunch of bears.
It's like you can see the back wall. Like there's no curtain separating like the back wall, like the loading dock and everything. And then the stage continuously gets fuller and fuller as time goes on. So it's really neat how they did it, and I would have loved to have seen them in concert, but I'm too young for that. So that, and then as soon as I watched that, I said, well, now I kind of want to rewatch the other concert film that I love so much, and that's Roger Waters' The Wall. He went on a tour around the world a couple years ago. Now, I was able to see him when he did Dark Side of the Moon about 10 years ago or something like that. But he went around touring around doing the entire Wall album. But the stage is absolutely epic. I mean, it is some of the most stunning stage design I've ever seen in my life. It's fantastic. So so that took me down another rabbit hole. And I went and I watched Sade. I like Sade, and I watched her concert film. Now, I own all of these, and I highly suggest everybody just buy these because they are worth a watch time and time and time and time again. So the fourth one I want to add to that is Sarah McLachlan's Mirrorball. I really like that concert film too, so it's really good. It's really good. There's nothing wrong with anything.
I just like how you're like, all right, so guys, this week we're gonna we're gonna rotate, and
Well, you guys said you were finished. You guys said you were finished.
And then Al's got like a list at the end that he's got to get through of like 15.
No, I'm glomming them all together because they're concert.
Let's
films.
not save all mine to the end because people tune out at that point. So I'm going to pepper mine in with you guys.
Oh, God, the weirdo's talking again. No, but you guys said you were finished, so I just threw all those together. So
You're good, Al. I'm just giving you a hard time.
But anyway, I highly suggest, if you need some good music, everybody's at each other's throats nowadays. Hey, let's listen to some good music and chill out. And
chill out, bro. God,
he
gets some AirPods, and all of a sudden he's Bob Marley over here.
I know. Yeah, man.
that was the problem. That was the problem the whole time. You guys are right. Popcorn movies
Life
are
is
great.
Fun.
So no, I won't bore you with everything else I watched. I watched some Christmas movies too because I love Christmas. So I hate Halloween, but I love Christmas so much. Anyway,
I would have never guessed that. If I didn't know you, you seem like Halloween's right up your alley. But
I hate it. I can't stand it.
Oh man!
So you get to talk about concerts, but you give me crap for talking about a video game. Okay.
You guys talk about TV shows. What are you talking about? You talk about the same gosh darn TV show every single week.
We haven't finished it.
Working through it, bro.
Oh my
right?
God!
It's a work in progress, baby.
AirPods over there has got an attitude.
Oh, no, gosh, who do you think you are, man?
He's gonna be returning those things first thing in the morning.
Hey, brah. Look, brah.
We'll get you some Raycons, bro.
Yeah, I saw a review on those. Not so good. So anyway, that's what we've been watching. Anybody else got anything else to add?
Nope, I don't think so.
Concert movies. That's the way to go, everybody. It's the way to go. Anyway, well, thanks for tuning in to CiNEMACHiNE. Ryan, you want to tell everybody where they can find us again?
Yep. On any of social channels, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at CiNEMACHiNE and you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can hit us up in the comments.
Yeah, and we have merch. We
got merch.
Mentioned. It's pretty fantastic, and we try to add to it as much as we can. We'll probably be putting some quotes on shirts from episodes from this and past episodes. I think there's a stinker shirt coming
with AirPods on each side.
CiNEMACHiNE pod, just / air. Yeah. So. But yeah, we really appreciate everybody tuning in. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate you guys just having fun with us. We love talking movies and whatnot. So please continue the conversation down in the comment section and on all of our social platforms, and suggest movies that you want us to watch. 'Cause we watch what we like.
We do. Yeah, we wanna see some new stuff too.
Yeah,
and
we
not
love
anything Al recommends. So.
Oh, come on. Come on. I'm trying to be a service to the people out there.
I love music movies or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Concert films.
So was Harvey Dent, Al. So was Harvey Dent.
You saw how that ended.
Saw himself become the villain.
One of my favorite things is Ryan said, Al, I give you a lot of crap about killing of a sacred deer, but I really kind of want to see it.
Okay, there you go. There's your watch of the week for the next episode.
Yeah,
let's get that review.
Yeah. So everybody, we'll see you on the next CiNEMACHiNE with our Halloween suggestions. So if you have Halloween suggestions that we should watch for that episode, please put them down in the comment section, and we'll see you all on the next CiNEMACHiNE. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.